Oye, mi gente, does your dad suffer from uncomfortable, rigid, and plain ugly jeans? Bueno, then this Father's Day, there's hope. Get your dad the perfect jean. They're stretchy, durable, and super suavecito. Available in 13 colors, 6 fits, and a wide range of sizes, finding your dad the perfect pair of jeans has never been easier. So this Father's Day, don't get dad the same old. Get him a pair of the perfect jean and use code BITTLE20 for 20% off your first order at theperfectjean.nyc. Because the only thing dad will love more than a pair of these super comfortable jeans is knowing you saved money buying them. Show dad how much you appreciate him this Father's Day by surprising him with his new favorite pair of jeans, the perfect jean.
This is DJ.
And this is Ish.
And this is
Season 6 of
Better Let Me Tell You.
Levels.
It's something about an elevator. He's like, get on my elevator. I don't know.
Well, if I was going to get into somebody's levels, I guess an elevator would be the best way to do it, or the easiest way to do it.
To go to levels?
Well, yeah.
I think of a warp zone. Sorry.
Well, it's got to be easier to get on an elevator than a warp zone.
No, it's not a warp zone. You just go in a tube.
Yeah, but then you got to find the right, dual to jump in.
No, you're not. You know you're jumping into warp zone number 4. When you go to the warp zone and it's world 2, 3, and 4, who the hell goes into 2?
I don't know. People who probably only say, take a little bit off the top.
When they get a haircut?
Yes.
I had never thought about it that
Yes.
way.
That's exactly it.
Well, we're recording.
We are recording.
Well, on that,
Yes,
everybody, welcome
yes.
to episode
253.
253. Pero let me tell you, I feel we were stuck in an even number forever.
We were for a minute there, and honestly, you kind of ruined a little bit the intro that I had planned out in my head.
Which was?
Because I was gonna say welcome to the all sleeveless edition of Pero Let Me Tell You,
Well,
but you put on a jacket.
It's me.
To cover your Heat jersey.
Yeah, it's Arctic in here, but on top of that,
That's true.
I'm demure.
You're
And I haven't been to the gym in a minute.
demure. Yes, when I think of you, I think of a coquette. I
haven't been to the gym in a minute. So, but I had to wear my Heat jersey.
You absolutely
go
did.
Heat.
Yes,
Go Heat.
Yes, as we're recording this, first game?
On Fake Friday, we are the first game is going on as we sort of speak on Fake Friday.
Yeah.
It wasn't looking too good.
But again, basketball, everything can change in 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's game 1. Let's be a little bit hopeful.
Yeah.
But what's awesome is that the Heat, the Heat are in the finals, which is great. So go Heat,
Go Heat.
go
Yes,
Heat.
absolutely.
Let's go Heat. Let's go Heat.
That game last
Let's
Saturday.
go Heat.
I'm not a big sports person, but even I was chewing my nails
Yeah, basketball.
at Unseen Creatures.
Basketball, I have to admit, I'm a bit of a bandwagoner when it comes to basketball.
Yeah.
My shtick is baseball. It always has been. But I obviously do get into you can say I'm a bandwagoner. I do get into the Heat, especially when they're doing well or they're in the playoffs, definitely when they're in the finals.
Right.
And just basketball, I have to tell you, it gives you this sense of anxiety.
It's intense.
Yeah, because a lot of times, the difference between, again, I'm a baseball person, between baseball and basketball is that, baseball is a low-scoring sport.
Yeah.
Right?
It's leisurely almost.
Okay, I wouldn't say that
Well,
either.
compared to basketball.
But it's a low-scoring sport, right? So, a baseball game that has 15 runs is whoa.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Acabaron.
Yeah.
Whereas, in basketball, you get into the triple digits, and some things can change so quickly in basketball, which don't in baseball. Yes,
even in football,
of course, things
yeah.
can change. You could hit a grand slam in baseball and be up 4. But in basketball, it's every second.
It happens more often.
It could be a completely different thing that watching it, and because I don't watch basketball as often, as I watch baseball,
Right.
which you called leisurely, it's when I do watch basketball, it's oh my God, like my anxiety. But I that's the fun part of it. Like,
It is
that's the fun of it. So, I'm really excited about this, the Heat in the finals for two reasons. I'm excited because, so there's this whole thing that, if you're a sports, like a Miami sports fan, this one counts, right?
What do you mean?
So for like really diehard Miami sports fans, especially people that really follow the Heat, of course, we'll take all three championships. But the one that really counted was the 2006 one, because that was the one with Dwayne Wade. And that one was the one that you felt it.
Okay.
The other two were with LeBron, which again, I mean, we're not hating it. We're taking it.
A championship's a
we're taking
championship,
it.
yeah.
But those were with LeBron, and there were a lot of like big stars in the Heat at that time. Which, a win is a win is a win.
Right.
But now it's a little bit more like it was like maybe a 2006 where it's more
a little more of an underdog feel.
and not underdog, because they have great players there, but LeBron is somebody that, whether you love him or hate him, sucks all the air in the room, which, for good or bad.
Sure.
Some people love him, some people hate him, and that was definitely, it was sort of like LeBron James versus, featuring the Miami Heat.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
When he played for the Heat. And then this time feels more reminiscent of 2006. So that's obviously one of the reasons why I'm going for the Heat. Another reason I'm going for a Heat is because a very, very good friend of mine works for the Miami Heat.
Yes, he does.
And he's like my brother from another mother. And the Miami Heat, if they win a playoff, if they win the finals, they all get a ring. They get the ring. And I remember one time.
The ring.
I remember, not the girl coming out of the TV.
Not that one.
But I remember, some time back, I went to go hang out with him at the arena. And when I step in, the receptionist at the arena, she was there with her 3 rings, just very leisurely. And I'm like, mira pa eso.
Listen.
Mira pa eso. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, dude, you need to, like, the Heat needs to win because you need to get your ring, and I'm going to hold your ring. And then it's going to be like freaking...
like with Daniel?
No, with the Hobbit.
Gollum.
Gollum. I'm going to be like, once I touch that ring, like, I'm going to feel the power of the ring.
I hope you don't turn invisible.
No, that wouldn't be good. That'd be a really big problem for the podcast.
It really would. If I can't find you, and for Ping Pong Pollo. The podcast, I can get somebody else. I don't know the recipes.
Really? For the podcast, you could get somebody else?
Well, if you're missing, I can get somebody to record, but you're irreplaceable with the recipes.
I will tell you something. I know if I were to...
We've had co-hosts.
If I were to have to leave the podcast, or you leave the podcast, I know who the replacement for either one of us would be.
Oh, it's Eddie.
It's Eddie. It's definitely Eddie. So Eddie, Yum Yum Foodie, Eddie Zamora.
Eddie Zamora. You're both of our like hall pass. I don't know. Like
you're hosting, but let me tell you, just letting you know.
Just FYI.
Just letting you know, Eddie.
Gig
you're going to be the new host of, but let me tell you,
one way or another,
we'll do an unveiling. You're going to have to come down to Miami a couple of times to do the photo shoots,
right?
That we take at the beginning of every season,
end of year,
to do some promo campaign.
Of course.
But then obviously the magic of
through the magic of digital,
will make it work.
But wait, sorry. So I wanted to bring up something because we both kind of did like a oh shit. So last Saturday we were watching the Heat game, and they didn't win that game. But as we were leaving, we heard. Well, I heard, and I told you, a group of guys that were walking out use a phrase.
Oh yeah,
that neither of us had heard in. It was roughly 20-something years.
It was beautiful to hear.
It was. So he's walking out. He's talking about how like the who was it? The Knicks, right?
Yeah.
They pulled it out from nowhere, right? And basically he was like, bro,
Celtics.
The Celtics. He was like, bro, it was like Tremendo Cag.
Tremendo Cag.
All of a sudden, I was like 8 years old.
It took me
back.
Cag was like middle school. I was like, I haven't heard Cag since 1994.
It took me back.
Yeah,
quick.
That was awesome. That was so good, Tremendo Cag.
And I think that kind of ties back a little bit to what we were saying about the Miami accent and the Miami-isms, right? That does not translate anywhere else. Forget Spanish. That's not because that doesn't translate to other Spanish.
So you're saying that Cag is like a specifically Miami?
I feel that's very Miami.
The Cag, yeah,
because it's basically like agate, or. So,
is that what Cag means?
Cag is cagad. Yeah, it's from cagad. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like Tremendo Cagation. Yeah.
Right, but isn't Cag like a good thing?
Well, I guess it could be, but I'm just saying.
Okay, are you sure about this?
It
Or are
is,
these one of
Cag.
these things that
No,
you say very
no.
confidently that like I end up like being like, okay, yeah.
No, Cag is like you pulled it out of your ass. Like,
Listeners,
it's
what is Cag?
Okay.
If you know what Cag is, what
This
really
has to be the video.
Cag, yes. If you really know what Cag is, please leave comments.
Or even if you don't know what Cag is, leave comments because we want to see how this
Oh
rolls
yeah,
out.
bro, it's a Tremendo Cag.
Tremendo Cag.
Tremendo
Like,
Cag.
yeah, it's derived from.
Yeah.
Cagad. It's from like shit. Yeah, so that's
Are
very
you
bad.
making things up?
I am not making up stories.
But yeah, that was awesome to hear. Tremendo Cag, bro.
It took me back so quick. It's amazing. Something like that, like boom, automatically.
So that was something that really caught on this week when we posted the whole thing about the Miami dialect.
Oh yeah, well, the professor.
Yeah, they reached out to us.
The professor reached out to us. We're actually going to work to get him
on the show.
Yeah. So
he
we can
reached
talk
out
about
to
it.
us.
Yeah,
because I mean, obviously, in terms of conversation last week, I mean, we spoke about it briefly, and I based this on a couple of articles that I read, but obviously, I didn't go in depth in terms of the study
of course.
that FIU did. But it would be interesting to really go into that as to where it comes from, because even things that we say in Miami that are not a translation,
correct. Yeah,
are have like Cag,
like Cag,
like
yeah,
Cag.
exactly, yeah.
And bro, why does everybody here say bro? Like why?
That's a good one.
Because bro is brother, but brother they use everywhere else, right? So it's not.
Why do we shorten it?
Why do we say bro?
Right, and why, as Lucy says, why do we have so many variations of it?
And you know what I think? Oh yes.
Right?
Well, but you know what though? But you know what though? I think that bro is the Miami version of dude. And the same thing happens with dude.
That's true.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude. Now
dude, where's my car?
No, I'm thinking of Dude, Where's My Car, but I'm also thinking of what's his name? Cody from Step by Step.
Oh yes,
Sasha Mitchell.
Sasha
Whoa, that's a name that we haven't thought about in a while.
About as long as I hadn't thought about Cag.
Yeah. Sasha Mitchell probably said Cag, but Step by Step was based in Minneapolis. I don't think they were saying Cag.
Was it Minneapolis or Seattle?
No, it was Minneapolis.
Oh.
Yeah.
They had that.
They were not in Seattle.
In Minneapolis.
Don't you know the whole thing with that theme park?
I know the theme park exists, but it doesn't really exist.
It doesn't really exist by the water.
Right.
The water was added CGI, and
that
I
was
was
a parking
thinking,
lot.
I was thinking, like, why did they spend so much money on that? Like, the water was not integral to the.
It's not like they were
shot.
Scuba divers,
right? Like, anyway, we digress.
As we do.
But where were we going with this?
I totally lost the thread, bro, dude.
Bro, oh yes,
Yes.
bro is the Miami version of dude. But okay, here it's like bro, and then you know what the thing about bro is that I think that no matter what your walk of life in Miami, whether you're a little bit more street or you're middle,
right.
like you're like highly educated scholar or whatever, everybody says bro.
Oh, bro, is a thing.
Everybody says
Yeah,
bro.
don't matter.
And what I find about bro is that again, no matter who you are, some people say it more than others. Some people like every other word
Some
is
people
bro.
live by the bro.
But like I don't use bro a lot, right? But when I get really Miami, it just comes out and I'm like, but what was that? Like, what was that? That it's like, bro, come on.
I think it's just always dormant.
Yeah, no. It's if you're from Miami, it's in your DNA.
Yeah, bro's like a volcano. It's just always there. You don't know when it's going to come up.
It's in your DNA.
Yeah,
it's in your DNA. If you're from Miami, bro,
it's going to happen.
There.
It's going to happen
there. So
and it's not cultural age demographic. No.
Oh no,
because my nephews say it too.
Your nephew say it.
Yeah.
Like I know people in their 50s and 60s that say it. Well, I mean, think about it. If you were saying bro
age,
in the 80s.
Yeah,
you're probably in your and you were 20-some, 30 years old.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought of oh.
You know what like blows my mind? Blows my mind.
I need a moment.
When you see those memes that say, okay, 1980 was 43 years ago. 43 years from 1980 was 1937. Like that is like
it's not the same thing. I
refuse. Not
as
the
somebody
same
who's
thing.
43 right now, I refuse to buy into that bullshit.
1937, they had the Depression, Prohibition, speakeasies.
That's more like 2023,
right?
than 1980.
Yeah. And well, that's true. And y como se llama? But I don't know. 1980. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of difference in 1980, especially technology.
Technology. I think that's the biggest one.
But I mean, it is. But I don't see. I don't think it's as big of a difference because. I mean, we were alive in 1980. Like,
well, yeah, I was a year old in 1980.
I mean, I wasn't. I hadn't been born. I was going to be born like 10 years later.
Yes, we when we do Fake Friday, we do a time machine thing.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me how old I am. Como Lisa, baby girl Leah, age ain't none but a number.
That's true, but she was referencing R. Kelly, so I don't think that's the best
reference.
Yeah,
that's not the better reference now.
I wouldn't go that route.
Okay, actually,
forward.
Speaking of R. Kelly, without speaking of R. Kelly.
Is he Voldemort?
Okay, so, here in Peru, let me tell you, we talk about everything.
Yes. And we've talked a lot about him a lot.
We watched I watched, and Ish watched.
I watched all 3 episodes.
We watched independently. I didn't know he was watching it. He didn't know I was watching it. And I kind of mentioned it to him prior to recording. I tell him, oh yeah, on HBO, or Max.
On Max.
Did you watch that documentary about Jared from Subway?
Oh.
I have to tell you guys that it's really disturbing.
It is. No. They have to come up with a new word.
It is awful.
It's next level disturbing.
Yeah, because, I mean, for those of you who don't know, Jared from Subway, remember the guy who lost
200 pounds or something.
Or whatever from eating Subway.
Right. And basically he changed his eating habits.
Ate subs under 6 grams of fat.
Right.
That includes the onion teriyaki. I'm sorry, we're losing the Subway sponsorship.
Damn it.
I think that onion teriyaki is gross. I really think it is.
I don't think I've ever really had it.
Eso no tiene gusto a nada.
Yeah, onion teriyaki.
Eso no tiene gusto a nada.
You know what? Give me the non-tuna all day long.
Yeah. And those 6 subs under 6 grams of fat. So again, it's like ahí no tiene sabor nada. I mean, you can't put mayonnaise. You can't put oil and vinegar. You can't put any condiments.
Well, okay, but if you're morbidly obese and you're trying to change your eating habits, this is a good compromise.
Okay. Anyway, that's not the point of this conversation. But anyway, for those of we're taking a trip down memory lane.
Yes.
So you probably remember Jared, the guy who lost all this weight from Subway, and Jared.
I didn't realize how global he had become.
Yeah, he had. I remember that Jared went to during the time I was in the Midwest. Jared went up there, and I'm thinking pero qué hacer aquí?
Wasn't he from? No, where was he from?
I don't know. He was not from Florida.
No, Florida man does not apply here.
No,
does not apply.
Don't even dare. Don't even go there. But anyway, anyway, so Jared some years later got in trouble for
rightfully
for it was like child pornography or there were sexual acts or sexual innuendos involving minors. But I don't know about you, and
they found kiddie porn on his computer.
But I'm somebody that I'm on top of the news a lot, and I'm very good about what happened. I don't remember the specifics on his case.
So what happened with him
back in the day when he got arrested?
Right. I don't know because I know you've only seen 2 of the 3 episodes, so I don't know how far you've gotten. But so he had his business partner who had set up
Tremendo Podrillo también.
That was when the bad idea bears, they meet and they hang out to the nth degree. But so the guy had set up cameras in his stepdaughter's rooms.
Well, don't give away the plot of the documentary
and the whole thing. Well, but look, I mean, at this point, we all know it's catching it's catching a pedophile. So I think that as a result of that, then that's what led to the Jared thing. The guy may have even tried to plea. You know what I mean? Present Jared as to get a plea. And then they found a whole shit ton of stuff on his computer, which was not right.
What was just really disturbing was the nature
mother
of this and what he was asking people to do and the ages. I mean, it was shocking. And again, when we were watching this, I'm like, okay, they're going to talk about this. I know this is not going to be an easy watch.
It was
but
worse than
when they started getting into specifics, I'm like, fucking Jared, tú eres un podrillo.
Seriously, fuck you and your stretch marks.
Yeah, Jared. Yeah.
But that's another reason why I always say, and again, we all know what I'm my day job, it's marketing and all this. Whenever you're a brand, and I mean, look, Subway, there's no way Subway could have foreseen this. I don't think anybody, I mean, this is the extreme of bad behavior, right? But whenever you are going to get a spokesperson, whenever you're going to get into business with somebody at that level, you need to be 100% certain who they are, and barring all of that craziness, that you are 100% aligned with what they present as their values. Because if you get in bed, that's a horrible analogy, let me rephrase that considering what we're talking about.
If you make a deal
with, somebody who is known for being audacious, and let's talk regular celebrities, right? Who's known for being audacious and saying things off the cuff and blah 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 blah. You have to know you're running the risk of, if this person says something inflammatory, you are going to be in the crosshairs.
Right.
And you need to, that's what I'm saying. And that's with the celebrity that you know what's going on.
Right, but I think with somebody like Jared and
I always just use caution.
And
caution.
I'm not the one in marketing here, but I think the one with Jared is that, as you said, nobody could have imagined that, because the guy, in terms of his record, he was clean as a whistle.
Right.
And Jared's sort of shot of popularity kind of predated. I mean, social media was around, but it wasn't social media like it is now.
Extent, yeah.
So it's not like he had a social media or a Twitter, history. Right. That you could be like, 7 years ago on this time, you said this,
Right.
Nobody could see that coming. I think the more... kind of what I see in it is that they put literally all their eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Like the marketing campaign for Subway for years was only Jared.
It revolved around him.
Yeah.
And again, it revolved around him also because he wound up inspiring other people. So then when they would bring these people on, well, but okay, look, let's take everything out of the picture. He was inspiring people to be healthier, not
as I said to you, as I
not
said
do
to you
horrible
earlier,
things to children.
As I said to you earlier, not to be like, oh, I knew it. Obviously, nobody knew that he was a disgusting pedophile.
Right.
I didn't know he was a disgusting pedophile. But there was something about him that I didn't like. Again,
You could not have
can't say
imagined
that it
this.
was
Right,
this.
right.
But there was something about me. I'm like, that guy gives me the creeps. Like,
there's always people.
There was a little creep factor, and again, not that I imagined that, but I'm like, I don't know, this is getting a little weird here,
Yeah,
but.
I don't. No, no, just no.
You know what? You know what I will never understand?
What?
Why did Quiznos fail?
They're still around, aren't they?
There's one Quiznos left.
Oh.
In Miami, that I know of, there was one on Bird Road in front of AB Barnes Park. But there used to be a Quiznos.
On every corner, yeah.
Yeah. I think Quiznos was such a far superior product than Subway.
And I love their marketing campaign. I don't care what anybody says.
We love the subs!
Yes! I love the move.
Because they are good for
I
us.
love the singing marmots.
I remember the song. The Quiznos subs! They are tasty, they are crunchy, they are warm because we toast them. They have a pepper bar.
And they actually were one of the earliest examples of an internet meme that got used for a campaign, because they started off as a thing that was like, we love the moon because it is good to us. We love the moon. Yeah. So it was a meme that got turned into a commercial. So it was one of the earlier cases of something like that happening.
Okay. Quiznos subs was such a far superior product than Subway, because I've already told you the thing about Subway. And listen, this could be a topic in today's episode.
We're never getting that Subway sponsorship.
I eat Subway, but when I eat Subway, it's because I have a very specific
for the
craving
taste of
for
a Subway sub. Yes.
Right? It's not because I think Subway is good. I don't think Subway is really good, right? But sometimes I want their cheap, unrecognizable tuna, like that it's not tuna. Sometimes that is what I want, right? And it's okay. Nobody has a Subway sub and go, que rico está este steak and cheese. The person behind the counter is from Philadelphia, isn't it? You know, like, que rico está este steak and cheese, right? And then, so I'm going to tell you all my issues with all the different sub places, right?
So all of them.
I have an issue with most of them. Okay.
Okay.
So that's Subway.
So we're never getting a sub sponsorship, is what I'm hearing.
Let's move on to Jersey Mike's.
Okay.
Jersey Mike's is actually really good. Have you been to Jersey Mike's?
I went once with you.
Okay. The problem with Jersey Mike's is the size.
Right.
So you have the mini that eso de cabe en la muela of any adult, right? The mini is like the mini.
Right.
Then you have the regular, which is, I think, 8 inches. And then you have the large that is
15, right?
It's 16 inches. There's no in between, right? So then I'm like, okay.
Mini's not going to cut it.
I'm not going to have 16 inches of sub. Like, that's all.
That's a lot of sub.
That's more than a ruler. That's like... That's more than a ruler. Okay, that's too much. And it's like $20, right? But then the 8-inch is not enough. So yo siempre salgo of Jersey Mike's like mal. Right?
Can't with you. It's more than a ruler.
So then there's fireman subs. Fire, whatever.
Fireman... Firehouse
subs.
Firehouse.
Okay, Firehouse subs are good. They're okay.
There's not that many around.
There's not that many around, but I feel like the heated subs, they put it in like a panini maker, and then the bread gets too hard, and it's like, this is not what I want. No. Then which one else? Then Quiznos was like the best.
Right.
Quiznos had this freaking chicken cordon bleu sub that was amazing. Do you remember?
I mean, you know, who the hell are you talking to? You know
I don't know. Maybe you don't remember the
chicken cordon bleu. I would eat that shit day and night if I could eat chicken cordon bleu and not, gain weight.
Chicken cordon bleu is so freaking good. Everything should. We need to make a chicken cordon bleu. So wing.
Listen. Again, I'm saying this. Will MC your quinces? I just want chicken cordon bleu.
A chicken cordon bleu wing. Let's see. We could do, because a chicken cordon bleu inside has like a bechamel sauce. So we could do like a bechamel sauce, toss the wing in the bechamel sauce, and then top it with like crispy ham.
Oh.
Chicken cordon bleu wings.
Why do you do this to me? Why do you get me all excited about chicken cordon bleu?
So then...
It's fake Friday, late at night. I am not having chicken cordon bleu.
I will say this. I am going to go local. One of my favorite local sandwich shops is Hungry Bears.
Oh, where's that?
There's several. I used to go to the one by the airport, which is where I used to go with my friend that now works for
okay.
But man, their BLT... Their BLT is like a pound of bacon and like a little piece of bread.
As it should be.
And they have a honey mustard sub. I mean, Hungry Bears. Do you remember Substantial subs?
I do remember Substantial. I remember Subrageous.
Uh-huh.
There's Miami Subs, which is now something else.
Okay. Actually, let me go. Let me talk about Miami Subs.
Grill. It's Miami
Let me
Grill
talk about Miami Subs.
I think it's
which is now Miami Grill, owned by Armando Pitbull. The Miami Subs steak and cheese with extra cheese and extra grilled onions, and they add a little bit of mayo is so freaking good. It's so freaking good.
I can't remember the last time I had a Miami sub.
Oh, we need to go to Miami Subs. There's one by here.
No, it's not for lack of vicinity. It's just
So that is how I rank my subs.
Well, and I mean, really, thank you for coming to his TED Talk.
But then there's sort of like the controversial one that some people love, think is the best, and some people hate. Is a pub sub.
Well, okay. Anybody who hates it is wrong.
How do we feel about the pub sub?
Okay, well, I just said anybody who hates it is wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, but let me tell you, you don't need to follow food influencers. Here we're giving you the lowdown on the best subs in Miami.
Welcome to Sub Corner. Pero let me tell you. I mean, it's a pub sub.
Have you had their chicken cordon bleu one?
I have had their chicken cordon bleu pub sub. Again,
that's actually the one I always have.
Like, what are you, new here? Yes, of course.
That's the one I always have. It's not because everybody has the chicken strip one.
I do like the chicken tender one. I like the chicken tender one because it's, carb on carb. What's not to love?
I actually have the cordon bleu one.
It's so good.
And they have another one called Havana Bold.
I haven't had that one yet.
That one's really good too. But the pub sub, I don't want to say pub subs are overrated. Because they are good. Like, the bread is good. Good. Ham good. Cheese good. Everything about it is good in a pub sub. And they're big,
Yeah, right. You don't have to choose.
You get
those weird ass. It's a ruler.
You get a ruler size that's, like, big and, meaty. Don't think dirty, people. Don't think dirty.
Happy Pride.
Right. So speaking of subs, I've said this before on Pero let me tell you, but I'll say it again. What's one of the things I've never had?
A $5 footlong.
Well, no. To me, a $5 footlong doesn't exist. My $5 footlongs end up being $15.
Right. That's why you've never had
what
one.
Sub have I never had?
What sub?
I say this all the time.
Oh, the meatball.
I've never had a meatball sub.
Because you don't think it's a bargain.
I don't think it's a value.
I disagree with you vehemently.
This is my problem. This is my problem with the meatball sub. This is my problem with the meatball sub. The meatball sub
And this is across the board, regardless of the place.
Okay. Yes. So usually, it's 12 inches, so 6 and 6,
okay.
And they'll have like 4 meatballs. So each bite is a freaking meatball. It's not a value. It's not a value at all. And then so that's my first big problem with the meatball sub. But then my second big problem with the meatball sub is there's always a sub I want more.
Well, but the meatball sub can't help that. That's not the meatball sub's fault.
The meatball sub goes in the list of things I've never done or will eat.
It's not the meatball sub's fault that it's the sub equivalent of Rita Ora.
So I'm not going to have a meatball sub while I play pool.
Play pool.
Something else I've never done.
No.
And I'm just not going to do.
And you're not going to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
And I've never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You know what? The peanut butter and jelly sandwich, that's where I become super Cuban. I'm like, tú sabes comerse un sándwich con maní y una mermelada de algo.
It's so good.
Like, I just became my grandmother.
You really did.
It's una comida.
No. You became all our grandmothers.
It's true. I'm like,
I love a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It does.
It's a good little snack. It fulfills,
I've had a
itch.
bite of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Okay. Well, so
And
you've had.
I've had a bite of a Crustable. But I'm like, I'm not gonna.
Okay, so you've had one.
Well, yes, I've had a bite of a meatball sub.
Oh, okay.
Right, but I've never been like, I will have the meatball sub today. Although maybe that's a thing we should do on. Pero let me tell you, the day Darian has a meatball sub.
Yes, and then we're gonna go play pool.
No, we're not gonna play pool. That I'm not gonna.
We're gonna do everything that you wouldn't do. All of it. It's gonna be a series.
Darian's days of firsts.
Darian's day of firsts. You're gonna be the only 40-year-old
Listen,
first.
I had a big first on the show.
The Cuban coffee.
The first time I had Cuban coffee was on Pero Let Me Tell You.
So we should document all your firsts.
Oh my! That could be like a segment.
Yes. This week in Darian's firsts.
What's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
And now that we're filming, we could get this on camera. This could work.
Anyway,
it could work.
Okay, moving right along from our subrageous our segment.
From
This segment was not brought to you by Subway.
By anybody that we listed. This was the most pro bono thing we've ever done, and some of them wish we hadn't.
Actually, let me just say one last thing. Yo te cambio any sub for one of my favorite things to eat. It's one of these things that it's more than the sum of its parts. Okay. And listeners, the ones who have had this, you will know what I'm talking about. When you go to a Cuban bakery,
okay,
and on the bocadito bread,
okay,
they have the mayo, the ham, and the cheese.
Yeah.
When that hits,
it hits.
Again, that's one of those things that it's more than the sum of its part. Because it's like day old bocadito bread with like cheap ham and cheap Swiss cheese. But when those things get together, it's
hits
magic.
All the taste buds.
It's magic. And when I eat them, I'm like, this is like the most delicious thing ever.
I'm with you.
I mean, that's better than a freaking onion teriyaki. Forget the 6 grams of fat.
It's worth the 6 grams of fat.
Yeah.
It's worth 12 grams of fat. Fuck it. Let's double up.
Right along.
Let's double
right
up.
Along.
Oye, mi gente, Ish here. Let's face it, sometimes we need a little energy boost to focus during the day, pero want to avoid those energy drinks with who knows what in them. Bueno, let's talk about the sponsor of today's podcast, Neuro Gum and Mints. Developed by former athletes who don't want to take supplements or energy drinks when they're studying, training, or going out, these gum and mints were endlessly lab tested with thoughtfully curated natural ingredients to create 3 different products. There's Calm and Clarity with vitamin D3 to optimize clarity of mind, or Health and Vitality, which is infused with immune boosting vitamins to help strengthen your body. Now, y'all know I have a full-time job, co-host, and produce this podcast, not to mention help run wing pop-ups. So I am all about the energy and focus mints right now. And let me tell you, I am definitely feeling those B vitamins pushing my mental endurance so I can focus on everything I need to get done each week. So it's better than Calm, Focus, Energy, and Vitality. Getting them at a discount. Visit tryneurogum.com/pero to get up to 20% off your purchase of Neuro Gum or Mints. That's right. Head to tryneurogum.com/pero and get up to 20% off your purchase today so you can have a little more focus and energy tomorrow.
Let's move right along. So, anyway, we will move right along. It's June 1st. Well, it's June 1st this week, so it's the beginning of Pride Month.
Yes, Pride Month. Happy Pride, everyone.
So, you're going to be seeing a lot of rainbows and Skittles and all that stuff. But
taste the rainbow.
Actually, Because I imagine we were probably going to mention something about Pride this
actually
week.
So this month, all my last sodas I'm actually going to give to LGBT members of the LGBTQ community or people who are doing things to support them. So,
well, look at
yes.
you.
So yes.
So this will be the learn part of the show. All right. So I think it would be an understatement to say that leading up to Pride this year, which is June, as we know, I was like, this is going to be a fun Pride year.
There were a couple
Pride
hurdles.
Yeah,
on the way
I was
here.
like, put on your seatbelts.
Yes,
because
it's going to be a bumpy
year,
ride.
It's going to get really interesting, really,
Betty
really
Davis.
quick.
Speaking of Pride.
So you knew that coming, Pride always ruffles some feathers, no pun intended, to some people.
Sí, pero hoy despeluzó el pájaro.
Yeah, but this year we're in special times. But anyway, so of course I saw leading up to Pride, I saw a lot of people online posting things of like, oh, why do the gays get a whole month and, veterans and people in the military get only a day? It's not fair that they get a whole month and, they're everywhere and it's, they push it down our throats and, the people in the military. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Learn section of Pero Let Me Tell You. So,
for the record, Pride is about consent, so no pushing anything down anyone's throats.
So, the military actually does have a whole month, which is actually May. Mm-hmm. The entire month of May, from May 1st to May 31st. Actually, June has 30 days, so the military even gets an extra day because May has 31 days. So
because ultimately, the only month where recognition gets shafted is Black History Month.
Well, or
the shortest month of the year.
I know, right? So May is actually Military Appreciation Month, and
they recognize it at my day job.
Okay, during the month of May, there's actually a lot of different events and a lot of different celebrations that happen throughout the country, just everywhere. And during the month of May, additionally, there are a lot of like corporations and corporate entities, whether it's General Motors, American Airlines,
pick one,
what have you, that have different specials, incentives, concessions to members of the military, which rightfully so.
I mean, honestly, they should get them year long.
To members of the military. And this occurs through the whole month of May, and it's highly celebrated. In addition to the month of May, there is also Memorial Day. Right, there is Veterans Day. Yep. And there's actually another Military Appreciation Day. I think it's in September or November. It's in an month, right? It's in an month. So there's a whole month plus several other days where the military is appreciated and is recognized, rightfully so. So when you make a statement like, why is it that Gay Pride gets an entire month, whereas the military does not, I invite people to not only listen to this segment of Pero Let Me Tell You, but to do a little bit of research, just a little bit of research, where you will find that, in fact, there is an entire month and several additional days of recognition and acclaim to the military, rightfully so.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us in the Learn section of Pero Let Me Tell You.
We're learning about subs, about holidays.
No, porque ya tú sabes, la gente estaban encendida on Twitter.
Number one, it's Twitter.
Well, but I'll tell you why.
Because
this is such an issue this year, of course. They have to find something to be outraged about.
And it's something that you can't really argue against, right? Because who's going to argue against recognition for veterans?
Right.
Like that's where the mentality is coming from.
No. But in terms of Pride, they have to find something this year to kind of be like, well, but, special rights, and they're getting all this right. So somebody...
Right, but what I mean is, it's never enough to say, like, why them? You always have to follow it up with, why not this?
Right, but what I'm saying is that this all probably started with some fabulous person on Twitter who probably tweeted that, not knowing about Military Appreciation Month.
There are a few things I'm more certain of than whoever tweeted that was not fabulous.
Right.
Or else they would be pro-Pride.
But for all intents and purposes, we're going to label them as fabulous. Put this on Twitter, and it spread like wildfire, and then people are tweeting it and people are posting it. Well, why this? So it's a little bit of educate. Check yourself so you don't wreck yourself.
Oh, no, I do hate when I wreck myself.
So I can't with this nonsense. I can't.
That's the thing. I will say though, to kind of flip the coin a little bit, as I do feel like as much negative noise is being made, and I will tell you, it's very hard to stay positive in the face of all this just constant barrage, not just about Pride, but just in general. I am noticing, and I'm going to applaud, and I'm going to stand up for several brands, at least on Instagram, who are literally today pushing out the Pride. They're talking about it. I showed you earlier Looney Tunes, the Looney Tunes page, which kudos to whoever the hell put that together, had a bunch of different pictures of Bugs Bunny in drag, and it said Happy Pride Month, celebrate drag or something like that. NASCAR. NASCAR posted.
That's
Happy
really
Pride
ballsy
thing.
of NASCAR.
Okay, NASCAR posted a Happy Pride thing.
Because if people start being like, "Oh, NASCAR's woke," they're gonna go broke. They don't have a lot of other options.
They really don't, actually. And I mean, I worked with NASCAR in the past, and that is one of the things that they constantly struggle with, is trying to diversify that demographic.
Good luck for them.
But they recognize what I'm saying is they recognize, and they're trying to do the right thing. I have to give them credit where credit is due. So I will say I did see a lot of brands, I know that the commercialization of Pride and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Right now, we need that commercialization.
Yeah.
We need that brand to kind of stand up and be like, you know what?
Guess what?
Do what you're gonna do. Do what you're gonna do. But we're gonna stand our ground. And I found there was a meme going around. I don't know if you saw it, that said something like to the effect of, when gays had a problem with Chick-fil-A, they basically said, let's just boycott Chick-fil-A, right? And just don't go there, don't eat their product. When the these far right nuts wanted to boycott Target, their response was, go to the Target, destroy everything, threaten people, bomb threats. It's like, but then also, these are the same people, or the same types of people
that probably have Bible verses on their bio and Instagram.
Well, I wasn't even going to say that. These are the same types of these were just the same type of people who then will turn around, right? Because essentially, what they've just done right there is vandalism. Will turn around, and when there are protests that end up in vandalism, which we have decried here on this show, because when you're out protesting, you're not looting. We'll be the first ones to say, like, you see, it's not about anything. It's about the looting and the vandalism, right? But you're vandalizing.
Yeah.
So you're not.
Well, see, a lot of them now with the Pride merch and Target, a lot of them would post on social media. They would, like, as a flex, like bragging, like, oh, look at us, throwing everything on the floor and blah blah blah. Right, throwing everything on the floor and knocking down shit. That then the poor person that works at Target, that probably makes minimum wage and doesn't make a lot of money, has to go and clean up that shit. You know. Has to go up and clean up everything. The mess that you did.
Clean up your tantrum.
Your tantrum. Aside from the fact that they're probably threatening them, now those employees have to go and do that. You know what? And if you do want to protest Target, or whatever corporation, because of Pride,
don't spend your money there.
Right. It's your right to do that. It's your right to do that. But there are adequate ways of doing that. And this harks back,
destroying private property.
What do I always say? What do I always say?
You say a lot of things. I don't remember.
Right, but what do I always say about people that are like racist and homophobic?
You go out and you be the biggest racist of all time.
You go out and you be the biggest racist homophobe that you want. Boo, you have every right in the world to be an ignorant prick. That's up to you, boo. You go out and you be racist, you be homophobic, you're intolerant, and then say, oh, but I have gay friends and I have black friends. Yeah, of course you do. And all that. You go out and you do whatever you want. You have the right to. Just don't mess with me. I mean, it's very simple. It's like very, very simple.
Your rights do not preclude mine.
Yeah. So, as I put in my personal Instagram, I go, June is going to be a long month for a lot of you.
Sure is. Sure is. I think on both sides of the aisle, it's going to be a long month, quite honestly, because it's like, there's this push now where it's like, it has to be like ultra mega Pride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it has to turn into like this giant Voltron of Pride now.
Can you imagine a Voltron of Pride? That's a lot of color.
That's so much color.
That's a lot of color.
I feel like there would just be so much cerulean.
Why am I thinking of a candy shop?
Now I want a candy shop.
I want some chocolate.
I do too.
A Clark bar. Let's take it.
I've never had a Clark bar.
You never had a Clark bar?
No.
Clark bars are good. You know what I used to have as a kid all the time? Oh, Henry.
Really?
I had O. Henry's.
I don't like O. Henry's.
What do you?
I don't like.
What
I don't
do you
like
have against Henry?
I don't like O. Henry's, and I don't like the Sugar Babies.
Wait, what was the pop group?
Sugar Babes.
The Sugar Babes.
I like the
excuse
Sugar
me.
Babes. I just did
Excuse
not
me,
like
no,
the
they
Sugar Babies.
Yeah. Oh, I used to
Yes.
love O. Henry as a kid.
Yeah. No. Not my.
You know what was
jam.
my favorite candy as a kid? Listeners, what was your favorite candy?
I don't. What was your favorite?
No, my favorite candy. I mean, look,
Mine fluctuated.
When I was a kid, it was like un Kit Kat.
Oh, I could still totally
Kit Kat.
down a Kit Kat.
But you know, my go-to candy will always be peanut M&Ms.
It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. When you have peanut M&Ms, do you have a way of eating it? Because I have a way of eating it. Just like I have a way of eating the Big Mac. Oh my God! You know what's
I have
so
questions
weird
about both of those.
You know what's so weird? Okay, true story. I'm not exaggerating.
Okay.
So I have a very specific way of eating the Big Mac. I always have.
Okay.
And Tristan does it too. And honestly, I don't even have, when we go to McDonald's, I don't even have the Big Mac anymore. So it's not like, oh no, he grew up seeing me eat the Big Mac that way.
It's like that commercial with the drugs.
But he eats it the same way. So you know how I eat the Big Mac? Because you know the Big Mac is bread, meat, bread, meat, bread.
Right.
I have the first half of it like a cheeseburger. So I have the bread, meat, bread.
So you separate it.
I separate it. Yeah. I eat the first half as a cheeseburger. And then
You defeat the purpose of the...
that's how I eat my Big Mac.
But why don't you just get
I'm
two
having it my
cheeseburgers?
way.
But it's not Burger King.
I know it's McDonald's. I'm making it my way.
No, they purposely did not tell you could have it your way.
Well,
at
I'm having it my
McDonald's.
way at McDonald's.
The Grimace
It's my
is gonna get you.
constitutional right.
The Grimace is
You
going to
know
come
they're
and get
coming
you.
out with a Grimace shake?
What's it going to taste like?
I don't know, but it's purple, and we're having it because
No,
Grimace,
it's Grimace.
Grimace is the most underappreciated IP there is.
I know.
We need to do something to make justice for Grimace.
Hashtag.
Justice for Grimace. In fact,
Bring back the Grimace.
oh,
the one from the Happy Meals that I got you. No, yeah, acaba con todo. It's like he has no concept of limits, even when he's tethered.
this is how much I love Grimace. Grimace.
Yes, even though
Why don't we have more of Grimace?
I have no answer for that. You know how I sometimes make up answers. I don't have an answer for that.
We need more. We need more. If there was more Grimace in people, I mean, how can you hate Grimace? Like,
I just love the fact that you're
tú
holding
sabes quién a mí siempre me cayó mal.
The Hamburglar?
The hamburger and those fry little girls.
The Fry Guys?
The fry. I don't like them.
Why not? They
I
just
don't
wanted
know.
French fries.
I don't know pesado. Like no.
But they wanted French fries.
I liked Grimace and that bird.
Birdie.
Birdie.
Birdie, the early bird. She was created when they brought breakfast.
Oh, so she's new.
Newish,
Or
yeah,
newer.
yeah.
But Grimace, yeah. Grimace is my guy. I like Grimace. Well, is he a guy?
I'm going to go on a limb here and say that Grimace may very well be the definition of non-binary.
Non-binary. He's not on the binary.
If anybody's going to be gender fluid non-binary, it's the Grimace. Yeah.
Is it the Grimace?
Originally, he was the Grimace.
Right.
And then he became Grimace.
Right. And what is Grimace's personality?
He's essentially like the Ronald McDonald Land version of almost like an Eeyore.
I love how you're making this up as you go along.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
He's kind of like the Eeyore.
Really? Have you read the character profile? Have you gone to like the McDonald's? Like,
I have.
vaults
I
and-
go to happymeal.com.
No, clearly
all the
you
time.
do. Clearly
All the
you
time.
do. So anyway, back to what this started
I don't
with.
even know
what this started with. So that's how I eat my Big Mac. And
Okay.
then one day, I see Tristan eating the Big Mac that way, and I didn't say anything. I just stayed quiet.
Right.
And then the next time we went to McDonald's where he had a Big Mac, he had it that way again. And I have to tell you, I was a little like, oh, like he's eating the Big Mac like me.
You say, oh, he never saw that. Like another instance where you thought he wasn't listening, and then later on brought something up. They are always watching and they're always listening.
I guess. But that's how the way I eat my Big Mac.
No.
That's like whenever I eat a burger, I don't even notice this. When I have like maybe a third of the burger left, I eat the bread and just leave the patty. And then eat the patty.
I've never noticed.
Yeah, I'm like really weird when it comes down to stuff like that.
I just don't notice how other people eat because I'm so focused on just inhaling my
Yeah,
food.
you are.
Yeah.
Like today you're eating a salad for about 2 hours.
Oh my God, it just never ended. I think I might still be eating it.
You know what
I don't
salads that used to happen to me with? Like the salads from Swenson's.
know. Oh, but okay, that thing came in like a
I
bowl,
remember
like
the
a fucking
Swenson's
bucket.
had the chicken fiesta salad that it was like in a taco shell. Like
Yes.
that it was like they're bringing me like 5 pounds of lettuce. Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
All fiestas must end eventually.
Yeah,
okay.
We miss Swenson's.
We do.
We do miss Swenson's.
We do.
So back to the candy.
Yes. Sorry. What was?
So I eat my M&Ms, my peanut M&Ms. So I bite it and I eat the chocolate, and then what's left is the other half of the chocolate with the peanut sticking out, and then that's how I eat it.
Oh no, I just eat them one by one.
Well, who doesn't eat M&Ms one by one?
Some people might eat them like 2 or 3 at a time.
Of peanut M&Ms?
I don't know, some with a big ass mouth.
Whatever.
I just eat them one at a time because I want to enjoy. And you know what? That share pack bullshit, that's not a share pack.
Oh, no.
That's an individual serving.
No.
I don't know who you're trying to fool me from.
No. You know what else I used to eat a lot? Whatchamacallit.
I never had a whatchamacallit.
Okay, where have you been?
I never had a whatchamacallit.
Did you have a stretch it out? Caramello.
Oh, wow.
Coño, you don't know your candy trivia.
It took me a minute. Dude, I haven't thought about a caramello about as long as I thought about Cag.
I think about Caramello and O. Henry and all that.
No. And lately, I've become just like a Reese's kind of person.
Ugh, peanut butter.
I love peanut butter.
That's why you have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
And you do not.
And I don't.
Exactly.
So, wow, our favorite candies and subs. What an interesting episode of Pero
So
Let Me Tell
topical.
You.
We're very
A
topical.
little topical. So actually, let's bring it a little topical here local. So, in Miami news this week,
as we gear toward the end of the episode.
this is a local topic. So for our listeners,
but it could have ramifications.
for our listeners who are not local,
but we talked about it before.
yeah. So there is a commissioner here in Miami called Joe Carollo, and he's very controversial. And in order to understand this argument, you have to know in terms of the map of Miami. So Miami is a very large place in terms of area, but really the city of Miami is actually quite small. Most of us live in what's called unincorporated Dade. Right. So really in Miami, there's 2 mayors. There's the mayor of the city of Miami, which is our favorite Bitcoin bro, Francis Suarez. And then there's the mayor of Miami-Dade County, which is Daniela Levin Cava, who is the one with like the real power because she is like the mayor of the entire county, which is really big. Not to say that the other mayor doesn't have power, but I mean she's mayor to a lot more people and a lot more area.
She covers a lot more area.
So the same trickles down to in terms of the commission. There's the commissioners for the city of Miami, and then there's commissioners for Miami-Dade County. So in the city of Miami commission, which again is a smaller one, there is a commissioner by the name of Joe Carollo who's been here forever. I think he's been a commissioner since like the late 80s, early 90s.
He's been in politics
It's
forever.
been a while.
Yeah.
It's decades at this point.
Career politician.
And
for sure.
he's been very controversial because there's been a lot of allegations throughout the years of him being extremely corrupt and either buying people off or threatening people and using the power of his office
and even in his personal life.
To coerce people or coerce businesses. There is a local institution in Little Havana called Ball and Chain, which is a restaurant, bar, club, music venue that's actually been around since the 30s.
Yeah, it is.
Wasn't it built because of Prohibition?
Probably.
It's been around since the 30s. I mean, it is a Miami landmark, and it's a great place because it's in an area of Little Havana that's thriving. And when you go there, you find all walks of life there. You'll find girls from the Midwest on their bachelorette party. Yeah. You'll find locals like us.
Asian tour groups.
You'll find people that are like popping bottles and spending thousands of dollars. You'll find 20-some college-year-olds.
They have a stage in the back.
They have with great music. So there's it's a great venue aside from being very historic. Well, the story goes that some years ago when Commissioner Carollo was up for re-election, the owners of Ball and Chain endorsed his opponent. And as a result of that, the allegations were that Joe Carollo, in his power as a commissioner, bullied them with like code enforcement and
basically
sound enforcement.
They were in his crosshairs.
And terminó la cosa that Ball and Chain actually was shut down for a while. And these people sued him. They sued him, although they sued him civilly, and they sued him. They didn't sue the commission. They didn't sue him as a commissioner. They sued him personally. And this week, And this trial went on for weeks, and
like
there
50
was a
days.
ton of witness testimony. I mean, there was a ton, and this was actually obviously covered by the local news here substantially, because this guy, again, people have known about this guy for years. Yeah. Well, this week the jury awarded the plaintiffs, because they're the owners of Ball and Chain as individuals and as a corporation sued him. So there was, I believe, multiple plaintiffs. They awarded the plaintiffs their damage award, which was I forget the exact number, but it was between $3 and $5 million each. But in addition to that, they awarded over $25 million each in punitive damages. And as I was telling Ish earlier, usually juries don't award punitive damages. It's not something that's common practice in the law world in a verdict. However, when a jury finds that the actions of the defendant were so egregious and so extreme and so out there, they do have the discretion of awarding damages in a punitive fashion, because it's saying, like, you were so egregious,
so blatant,
blatantly terrible in what you did, that, you know, those $5 million that they asked for, no, we're going to give them $25 million additionally each. So that's why the final jury award was over $60 million. Does that mean the people from Ball and Chain are going to get $60 million? No. But what this did show, that they found that there was enough corruption here coming allegedly from this man that they found him guilty, and they gave him punitive damages. So that's a huge deal here in Miami, because this man has been in the news for years and years and years, and people know what he's all up to, and
nobody really bat an eyelash.
No, well, they did. I mean, people have been ringing this alarm about this man for a long time.
For legal recourse.
For a long time.
For legal recourse.
What happens with Joe Carollo and a lot of elected officials throughout the country, and this is not only a Miami-specific problem, what happens to a lot of elected officials throughout the country is that their constituents, or the people that vote for them, it's a very small number. So Joe Carollo is a commissioner for a very specific district in the city of Miami. So the pool of voters is actually very small, but he has an immense amount of power, right? Because he holds a commission seat. I don't remember the exact number, but I believe that the last time that he was elected, the number of people that voted for him was under 10,000 people.
It's nothing.
In a city of millions.
Right, that's nothing.
Right?
Yeah.
Under 10,000 people. Why? Because he is the commissioner of a very small district. Right, but in doing so, he is on the city commission,
and he wields a degree of power.
Exactly. So that's why, you know, it's so important not only to vote, but to use critical thinking in your voting. Because what happens? This man is Cuban. And who is the people voting for him? Estos viejos cubanos. Estos viejos cubanos que votan por Joe Carollo porque es cubano. No, es un cubanito y nosotros lo conocemos. You know, and there's absolutely no critical thinking or accountability in this man's job. And that goes for a lot of elected officials, not for him. So this actually, a lot of people are saying, it can set some type of precedent to the even bigger case that's going on now of DeSantis
coming down the pike
versus Disney, because the Carollo case was an elected official wielding their power over, in this case, a local business.
Again, a private
local business, and giving them essentially a hard time, making life impossible for them
because they disagreed with him.
Because they disagreed with him. Exactly. I'm glad you said that, because they disagreed with him, which ultimately, you know, in this whole battle of Disney, you know, this thing has taken so many tosses and turns, and it's all over social media, and people are talking about it, that people have to remember that the root of the Disney lawsuit is that the CEO of Disney made a statement that Disney did not support the proposed parental guide rights bill, also known as a Don't Say Gay bill. The CEO of Disney said that
who's no longer even there, by the way,
that they did not support that, and as a result of that, the governor has done everything he's done. So again, it was an elected official going after a private corporation over a statement that a CEO did. So a lot of people are saying that this can be a precedent for that. It may or may not. I mean, obviously, you're talking about two huge behemoths, because this is a little commissioner and a little local business versus the governor of Florida and the
Well, but
Walt
that's
Disney
how-
Corporation.
But that's how precedents sometimes come when you argue precedent. You use certain cases.
They do, but here the recourses and the resources are much bigger.
Of course,
because you're talking about the Disney Corporation. So, we'll see. But these are the type of important things that you have to keep an eye out. Because I say this to people as somebody who works in politics. I say this to people all the time. We waste so much time talking about general office, like the president and Congress and all that. And I mean, obviously, that's very important. Who is the president?
But your day-to-day?
Who's in Congress? Those are very important roles. But what affects your life on a daily basis is local government.
Yep.
Local government. Who's in your school board? Who are your commissioners? Who is your mayor? Right? Who is in your city council? Those are the things that affect your everyday life. Judges, your everyday life. So it's important to take those things seriously and most importantly, hold accountability to those people, because those people can very easily, I mean, here in Miami, I mean, I imagine that all areas have their own thing, but here in Miami, you just have to say communism and socialism and people's heads explode, and that's how you get people to vote for you. It doesn't matter what is your agenda. It's no longer about what you can offer your constituents. It's about getting your constituents to be afraid of the opposition, right? And that's what's happened here. And as a result, this man, allegedly has done some terrible things and gone after businesses and all that. I mean, people that we're very close to in the podcast, Danny and Rose from Sandwich
were witnesses.
Were witnesses of the hard time they had in connection or in relation to Joe Carollo. So I mean, it's a lot of twists and turns, but it's important that those people that are in power be held accountable always, no matter what the political affiliation is.
Question: because you keep saying allegedly, even though he's been found guilty, do we still need to use allegedly?
Yes and no.
Okay. That was a very genuine question on my part.
Usually they'll say convicted.
Okay.
So-and-so has been convicted, or convicted fraudster, convicted this. I just use allegedly because, pero let me tell you.
No. But I was just curious, like if it's something that even once, because again, just because you were found guilty of something,
right?
Maybe you did it, maybe you didn't. I mean, there have been no, not with him, but I'm saying in general. Yeah, there have been cases where things have been overturned. So I don't know.
No, I haven't heard if he's going to appeal this. I imagine he is, because I mean, he can't pay.
It's not $10,000.
He can't pay the $60 million.
Yeah. No, and the taxpayers will not do it either.
No.
No.
Ahí formamos revolú.
Oh yeah, you thought they were pissed about the Marlins Stadium.
Yeah, ahí formamos revolú. So
Oye, mi gente, it's June, and that means the start of summer. La playa, vacation.
And it's also National Dairy Month.
Makes sense. Ice cream, milkshakes, cheese on your burger, and the barbecue. Okay, I'm about to start drooling all over this microphone.
No, claro that you're drooling. Pretty much all those summer favorites are made with real Florida dairy products.
Okay, so that means they're not only delicious, but also nutritious.
And don't forget, locally sourced.
Okay, now I'm really looking forward to a Florida dairy summer.
Bueno, in that case, visit floridamilk.com or lechedeflorida.com today for info on the benefits of dairy and more ways to enjoy dairy all year long. Also, don't forget to look for the number 12 under the sale by date on your gallon of milk. If it starts with a 12, it's Florida milk.
All right.
Are we thirsty?
We are. It's about that time.
It is. So I know who I'm going to give my last soda to.
All right. You want to go first?
As I hold my Grimace. So I'm actually going to give my last soda this week to somebody we follow.
Okay.
And I don't know if he follows us, but we follow him, or I follow him. And it's this this Instagram user, the Real Chico 305. So I'm giving him my last soda. I initially started following the Real Chico 305 because he's a huge sneakerhead, and I love my Jordans and my Air Max. In fact, I got a new pair today.
I was going to say they're beautiful.
They are. They really are. I collect them. I love them. So that's how he got on my radar. But the reason why I'm giving the Real Chico 305 our last soda is for the following reason. we get so much shit as Miami sports fans for being bandwagoners, for being fake fans. Miami is always voted as like one of the worst sports cities in the country. And to be honest with you, after having traveled throughout the country, being a baseball fan, going to all these stadiums, I see that, we're very fair weather fans. We're very bandwagoners. We don't go see people like they do in other cities. But this guy, the Real Chico 305, dude, that guy went to Boston and was freaking giving it to the the people.
Serious?
He went to the Garden in Boston.
Oh shit!
And he was like repping Miami. And anytime that you can fucking stick it to Boston,
you're a happy camper.
You're good in my book.
Yes.
And he also, before that, when the Heat were in New York, he went to Madison Square Garden for the Knicks, and he was like, having like a ball there, repping Miami. So I'm like, dude, this guy is like going to all these basketball games and repping Miami, and like he's a real fan. And you know what? We get so much shit for not having real fans that this guy is out there doing this. So the Real Chico 305, you get my last soda this week on Pero Let Me Tell You. So enjoy.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I know anytime somebody can stick it to Boston, you're automatically going to give them all of the sodas.
That godforsaken city.
All of the sodas.
I'm sorry, not sorry for any listeners we have there. So
it's been a while since you referenced Demi. So for my last soda, as I mentioned, why does this sound so? Sorry, like the volume sounded a little off to me. So as I mentioned, I'm going to try to spotlight Latin members of the LGBTQ community or people who are doing things to really just put the spotlight on Pride. And so this week, Entertainment Weekly put out their annual Pride issue. Now it's digital because everything is digital.
Is Entertainment Weekly digital now?
It's predominantly digital
so
now.
You can't find it on the newsstand anymore?
I think they're putting out like a monthly just for shits and giggles, but yeah, it's pretty much. And the cover boy, the cover model this year is somebody who has actually been on our show, Harvey Guillen.
Oh, yeah.
So he plays Guillermo on What We Do in the Shadows. But, I'm going to give it to him, not just because he's been on our show. And for the record, you know what, everybody? He was on our show before he really blew up.
He was.
He was on our show really before.
What, season 3, I believe?
Not even. It was like maybe season 2 at best.
Yeah.
Like it was right at the beginning. But one of the things I love about him is how he's just in the last year or two really blown up, and he's just been unapologetically himself. And when you really stop and think about it, here's a Mexican American kid who's doesn't fit the body type of your the typical Hollywood star that well, you got to go lose weight, you got to do this and and on top of that he identifies as queer, so I'm going to use the word that he uses to identify himself, and yet he's been nominated for so many awards. He went to the Met Gala this year. He's doing like voiceover work with Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek in the last Puss in Boots movie.
And he was freaking hilarious in ¿cómo se llama este show?
What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows.
He's
that was
hilarious.
Awesome in that show.
In the Harley Quinn animated series on Max, he voices my favorite superhero, Nightwing. So I just wanted to give him, our last soda, but I also wanted to read a quote from him that was in Entertainment Weekly, because I think it's just something to keep in mind, regardless of where you fall on the spectrum of the LGBT community, if you fall at all, even if you're just an ally. He said, "When you realize that all that matters is that you're happy with who you are when you look in the mirror, then everyone else can go F off."
Yeah.
And I think that's just such a perfect little, capsule for Pride Month, but also for the whole, for the whole year.
For life.
For life. For life. It's a life motto.
Don't you rain on my parade.
Yeah. It's a life motto. So my last soda goes out to, Harvey Guillen.
That's a good one. He's super talented. Good. The Real Chico 305 and Harvey Guillen are sodas. Speaking of Pride and gay content, we had to give it up to Que Pasa USA, who in the 70s...
Another pioneer. Another pioneer.
70s had a gay-themed episode.
Which now, well, we were joking about it. There's actually a club now on South Beach called Heaven, which was the name of the club that they go to in that episode.
They have to have pictures of them. They have to. So, I've said this before. Watching that episode as a kid, I didn't get it. I'm like,
Of course not.
Why are they being so secretive? Why are they like putting their glasses on when they go to the club?
Yeah, and then the whole I'm looking for a dad type myself.
Yeah,
that
was cool. I mean,
really flew by.
Pepe's like, I'm looking for my son.
He's like, I'm looking for a father type myself. I was like, I don't know what that
But if
means.
you think about it, like that was all of Que Pasa You Say was sharp writing.
Oh, yeah.
But that was like some really good writing.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember, being a kid, I'm like, pero ¿por qué?
¿Qué lío aquí? ¿Qué lío?
And I love the end when they're leaving and Antonio's on the
Dancing with
dance floor
Patria.
Freaking awesome.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway,
but wait, before we go, to those of you who are in the area, this Sunday, June 4th, the Arts Center is having their annual community dance, which this year is going to feature singer Martha Wash, who some of you, you're like, who's Martha Wash? You know Martha Wash. She sings It's Raining Men.
You looked at me. I know who Martha Wash is.
She sings Everybody, basically all the songs that were popular for CNC Music Factory.
All the songs that they stole her voice.
Right.
Strike it up.
Yes, strike it up. Exactly. So
Everybody,
she's going to be performing. So they are doing from 1 to 3.
Ow.
I love it. Do it. The whole background. From 1 to 3, they are doing a family-friendly. I can't compete with this.
Everybody dance now. Well, I mean, you wanted Martha Wash?
I did, but now I'm regretting my decision. So from 1 to 3, they're going to do a family-friendly thing at 3 o'clock. Essentially, they're going to get everybody out of the plaza, and then they're going to have it's just going to be adults only from 3 to 5 or 3 to 6. So Martha Wash, and it's a free event. It's a free event. You know, we love the Arts Center, so that was my. If you could hear it over his singing.
Oh, and also Saturday there will be Ping Pong Pollo will be at Jay Wakefield at Wynwood.
In Wynwood, yes.
So anyway, well, everybody, we hope you listened, laughed, and learned. And as always, remember to grab your pastelito, your croqueta, and your cafecito. And thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Have a great weekend.
All right, cuídense, mi gente. Bye. Pero Let Me Tell You is co-hosted by Darian Borges and Ismaeliano, produced by Ismaeliano, and our theme, Pero Let Me Tell You Freestyle, is composed by Michael Angelo Lomlaplex, the official gay guy. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes.